they're running.
And Matthews into the fast break. Great handle by Purnell. He'll sting that low right corner.
Alley lines as well. Now the ball is scrambling here, and Kahn comes up with a huge save early on.
Barrett right back to Gaffney. Now Helton step down, shot finds the corner.
And they have numbers. Matthews, Kaliza, down to Purnell. Purnell back to the middle. Matthews picks the far side. Textbook fast break by the Bulldogs.
And welcome here to Bedford High School in Bedford, New Hampshire, where the Bedford Bulldogs boys lacrosse team will take on the Londonderry Lancers from just down the road on 93. Today's matchup pitches two 10-4 squads tied for second in Division I lacrosse in the state right now, with a few games remaining on the schedule for each squad. My name is Corey Munster-Tiger here for BCTV. I'm joined in the booth as normal by Jay Abendroth. Jay, thoughts on what we might see this afternoon?
Yeah, really a nice fall day here in New Hampshire. Actually, scratch that. Spring, but nonetheless, we're coming up into Memorial Day, and I think it's important for both of these teams. You know, we talked earlier broadcast where you can kind of feel out where your schedule's going, how your momentum is going, but we're kind of getting to the end of the season here. Two evenly matched teams, at least on the stat sheet. So really interested to see how Bedford can handle the face-off X, pull together all the basics, and hopefully, take control of this game early.
Ready to start. 12 minutes on the board. Face-off is underway. Riccio comes away with it for the Bulldogs. Dylan Riccio at his normal spot at the dot, and he is able to get control for the Bulldogs to start this game. Usual starting lineups: John Purnell, Evan Capello back at attack, and Luke Purnell down there. Shot here quickly from Luke Purnell, just high and outside, backed up nicely behind by John Purnell. And the Bulldogs offense is getting after it quickly.
Yeah, we see here, Corey, a lot of times Bennett Matthews is the feature player. It looks like they are face guarding Brody Helton, the junior midfielder on Bedford, and letting the rest play a box and one zone.
Nice job there by the Lancers defense, getting that ball on the ground and into transition. Colby Boyd checks out now on Colby Walden. The battle of the Colbys there this afternoon.
Colby on Colby violence.
We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, that seems to be working.
Londonderry looks to dodge from up top. Here's Blake Thompson. Lefty shot comes in. Bouncer eaten up pretty quickly by Ethan Kahn. It misses his outlet pass, but scrambling up to grab that ground ball is Evan Capello. He'll settle things down for the Bulldogs. Early going here, 0-0 is your score. Getting a step and now passing up top. Matthews takes, that was Helton taking a shot from up top. Saved up top. Brock St. Gelais makes the save for the Lancers. They look to clear here. And they get through the ride. Odin Delory will settle things down for the Lancers. Back and forth so far. Little dodge to the right hand. Shot gets checked there by Trey Campbell. Backed up behind nicely. And the Lancers get another shot at it. Walden goes hard at Boyd. We get a flag down. Little look of confusion by the two of us in the press box. Perhaps it was a cross-check, maybe a push, but looked a little odd. Nice tic-tac-toe, a little behind the back finish. And Brody Campbell puts the Lancers on the board first, 1-0. We'll see what the yellow hanky was for, if that's wiped out or if the Bulldogs will serve it. Either way, the goal counts. It's 1-0 Lancers.
Yeah, I think we had a little bit of hesitation from the Bulldogs as they saw that flag. Sometimes you kind of slow down a little bit to understand what the heck just happened. Londonderry also a bit tentative there. Slow tic-tac-toe, but they were able to find the open man in the back, nifty behind the back for the first goal of the game. It's going to be an interesting one. I think two evenly matched teams early on. The pace of the game is relatively slow, so I expect that to speed up as well.
Nifty finish there by Campbell, too, with a little BTB. And now Bulldogs are able to control it. Here as Dylan Riccio draws a foul. Some aggressive stick work by the Lancers as they try to chase down this ground ball deep in the back right corner behind St. Gelais. Ball gets tipped out of bounds, but we do have the dirty laundry on the field, so we'll see what the officials call. 9:19 left in this first quarter. Couldn't quite decipher the foul. Looks like a hold on the Lancers, so it'll be a 30-second foul. Bulldogs will get their extra man offense out here. Actually, it's even up as I think the Bulldogs are still serving the last of their penalty. Matthews rips from up top, sails it wide, but it's backed up by Purnell.
Yeah, and honestly, with a 5-on-5 instead of the traditional 6-on-6, I think look to Bedford to use that space and take advantage. But unfortunately, good defense by Londonderry there. Ball on the ground.
Good job by Graham Cunningham to get that ball out and on the turf. Bulldogs there to scoop up the Lucy, though. Bulls his way through, snipes that top left corner. That's Luke Purnell evening it up. Great move by the senior attackman. 1-1 is your score.
Yeah, as you talked about, when it's 5-on-5, you have a few more extra square yards of free space without that extra defender. Purnell was able to hold on to the ball and really bulldodge past and step past his defender. Usually where the inside would be clogged, he had some space and really nice opportunity to get his hands free and bury it.
Nobody on that crease, late slide. Gives a little opportunity there for Purnell, and he takes advantage. Riccio wins the faceoff, but they're sloppy in getting it into the offensive end. So Brock St. Gelais will scoop up the loose ball and clear it out for the Lancers. He sees Cameron Ayotte. Ayotte through the middle, finds his point man. Shot rings off the near side pipe. That was Colby Walden on the shot. He had Kahn beat. Kahn got a little help from his friend. Quick appearance by Post Malone. And it stays 1-1. Ticking down to 8 minutes here in this first quarter. 1-1 is your score. Little wraparound check there by Brody Helton. Gets the ball down on the ground. They scramble for it, but away comes Odin Delory. Looks backside, can't make the connection. And now on the loose ball scramble, a helmet rolls off. That was not a head, it's just a helmet there. So just wanted to make sure everybody at home was okay. Colby Walden's bucket was rolling around on the 15-yard line, so he has to take an exit for a play or two.
Yeah, nice call by the refs as well. Sometimes they get a little over anxious when, of course, for player safety when a player's helmet comes off. But that was just a scrum for the ball. Brody Helton laid his shoulder in there. Helmet came off as a consequence, but no foul. Bedford ball.
Now the Bulldogs back into the offensive area. Wait for their offensive substitutions. They have a man here. They don't see it, and the odd man, so they'll settle. Bennett Matthews up top. Looks to go one-on-one against the shorty. Spins away from pressure, rips, misses wide left. Good job there by the short stick defender Tyler Knapp.
And we see, I'm not sure if it's a zone. It's a little bit of an amorphous blob here by Londonderry. Kind of looks like a zone, but they're really trying to help in low.
They didn't help quickly enough there. John Purnell posts up with his left hand, gets a little high and buries low. To me, it looks like they're shutting off Matthews and playing a 5-man zone behind that. And in that case, weren't strong enough on goal line extended. John Purnell gets just high enough with that strong left hand and buries 2-1 the Bulldogs.
Yeah, great opportunity for Bedford. Londonderry knows the strong midi play that Bedford has, and as Londonderry expends resources and people to shut them off, the attack and other midfielders are going to have a lot of space to operate here tonight.
It's kind of a pick your poison, too, as they have, of course, Bennett Matthews, one of the best midfielders in the state, but they also have on that first line Brody Helton, who is no slouch himself, as he beats a defender in that back right corner. The second defender gets the ball loose and Helton steps into the crease, so the Lancers get the turnover here. 6:40 left in this first quarter, 2-1 Bedford leads. St. Gelais looks to clear. Near side Cunningham. Tries to get that up quickly. That was to Ayotte. Ayotte bats the pass, and it does go out of bounds, but the Bulldogs will get possession. Jacoby DeJesus here on the near sideline will pick it up.
Yeah, nice pressure by Bedford on that ride, forcing the unforced error. Forcing an unforced error, I guess that works. But turned out well.
Maybe?
Forced error, yeah. Turned out well for him. Had everybody covered. Bedford ball.
Matthews now will pull. Shot gets blocked out front. Ayotte gets a stick on it. Nice job by the senior defender.
That can't feel good, soaking one of those shots.
I think he got his stick on it, actually, which makes it a little easier. Just under 6 minutes to go. 2-1 is your score. The Bulldogs lead. Into their settled offense. Looks like the Lancers are still in that kind of amorphous blob defense. They feed the crease inside. Capello makes the catch right on the crease but can't get any mustard on the shot, so St. Gelais picks it up. Bulldogs riding heavy here. Goes out of bounds off of Cam Ayotte for the Lancers, so Bedford picks it up as they foil that clearing attempt. Matthews now draws 2 and 3. Gets to his left hand. Spins back away. Now a pull righty. Saves St. Gelais. Nice job standing tall. It was a stick side high shot, but either way, he made a nice save. But his pass goes high and out of bounds over the head of Graham Cunningham. So the Bulldogs will get another shot. Another shot inside. Capello draws 2 and 3. Gets whacked a few times up in the helmet area. And now the feed tries to go through 3 defenders and doesn't get there. Connor Woodward scoops it up for the Lancers. Past midfield. Little wraparound check by Matthews. Follows it up. Ball's on the ground. Lancers faithful didn't like that, but Matthews' pass goes out of bounds.
Yeah,
certainly clean there, right?
Clean hit, check. Chest to chest. I think we see Bedford really accelerating the time clock in the Londonderry's heads. Really, Londonderry rushing some passes that should be easy. Goalie outletting maybe when he has a few more seconds. And Bedford keeping up the pressure. It's going to serve them well later on in this game.
We'll get another yellow hanky on the carpet here as Santos will pick up a slash. A little wayward stick smacks the face of a Lancer offensive player. So the Lancers will settle, see what they can do in this delayed penalty situation, and then, of course, on the man up. Shot here, score. Nice move by Trey Campbell. Gets past the original defender, pulls the trigger, and his bouncer goes in. 2-2.
Yeah, nice individual effort there. Something the Bulldogs have to tighten up. Trey Campbell was able to get right into the heart of the defense and take a shot. He did get put down, but a few steps too late. Colby Boyd coming on the slide. Yeah, that's a tough one, given someone running through the heart of the defense. But waves off the flag. Oh, actually, no. I think they are still going to be man down. Keep that locked in for some reason.
Ooh, was locked. I didn't see that locked in.
They didn't pick it off. They didn't pick it up after the goal.
Oh, it's a personal foul. The 1 minute stays. Any kind of technical foul does not. So 30-second penalties will get wiped out, but the minute will not. That was a minute on the slash. So
I thought the refs were going to be nice to us. Sometimes they'll let that
that's rare.
little rush go.
I know Tyler leads too well. He's not going to be. So the Lancers will slow things down. They get their man-up unit on, and they will set up in their play. 3.5 to go. Tied score in this first quarter. Walden bounces it back and forth. Now Campbell. Back to Walden. Near side. Time and space there for Owen Heward, but his shot goes a little wide. Sophomore had a little bit more time than he thought. Feedback side to Heward again. Nice save up top to the left side. Ethan Kahn catches up to it. Beautiful save by the keep.
Yeah, and Londonderry's had that look a number of times on that far back post. Kahn was able to stay strong, stay tall, and make a nice save.
Matthews bowls over to the defender. Shot goes wide left.
Yeah, I think that's one he would want back. He was able to knock over the defender. Probably could have – he started his windup, probably could have taken a few more steps and placed it, shaking his head after the shot. I think he knew that one could have been a goal, should have been a goal.
Either way, the Bulldogs back it up nicely. And now Londonderry is shutting off Helton behind. So they're choosing their, like you said, picking poison. Shot rings off the post. Ground ball right to St. Gillet. Now he outlets it near side to Cunningham. Into the middle. Try a little rusty gate there on Knapp, and that doesn't fly.
Little Ole.
And now Knapp will take it all the way behind. And now the Lancers will settle it down up top with Trey Campbell. Campbell, the freshman, getting a decent amount of run here early. As we tick inside 2 minutes in the first quarter, Campbell tried to get back to that right-handed crank. Pulls it down and passes to Thompson up top. Here's Colby Walden. Behind for Heward. Good stick there. Nice job by Colby Boyd to get his big, long 6-foot pole in the passing lane. Knocks it to the turf. The Bulldogs will get out of that defensive possession. Just about a minute left here. I'm sure Coach Gaudreau will want a nice offensive possession as they look for Riccio. Clear, they have an odd man here.
Oof,
little odd to have somebody behind the cage on an odd man, but
I know.
they settle things.
Corey,
They'll work it around.
You and I often talk about a defender when you know he's going to shoot. I thought that was the one. If they had gotten him the ball a few seconds sooner, that was a shot by Riccio.
Here comes a shot by Helton. He's got a head of steam going, draws the double. Nice job by Ayotte to get a couple stick checks in there. Feed backside, can't make the connection with Luke Purnell. Good eyes to see it, but the pass was a little low and wide. The Bulldogs turn it over.
Yeah, that was the right play. Just a little bit of a flick of the wrist, yanked on it a bit, drove it into the ground, but Purnell was standing on the doorstep. That would have been a one-on-one with the goalie.
The Lancers will try to clear it out. Trying to get past this pesky ride by the Bulldogs. Drawing a double team here near the midfield. But escaping quickly was Blake Thompson. Just about 10 seconds to go. Nice check there by Will Frangelo. They pass it up top. See if they can get a shot off, and it does not look like it. First quarter expires. We're knotted at 2 after 1. Just wanted to make sure that we're acknowledging our underwriters. We want to thank them for supporting our live sports coverage. Primary Bank, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and Great New Hampshire Restaurants, T-Bones and the Copper Door. Great one going here. If you're interested in more broadcasts here from BC TV, the lacrosse team will take on the Pinkerton Astros next Friday night at 5:30. Tune back in for that one as we'll bring it to you from Bedford High School. Softball squad will take on Manchester Central West squad on Tuesday the 27th. First pitch is at 4 p.m. Girls lacrosse will take on the Souhegan Sabres. That's Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. So you can catch all of these live on BC TV's channel 8 and 1072 or the BC TV app after the game.
I like that. Souhegan Sabres. You can go one of either way. Saber Teeth.
Yeah,
the
Sabres
Tigers. Yeah.
Or the, if you're into fencing, it's also
Epee.
Yeah, épée.
Yeah, but back to this game. It's pretty evenly matched, as I said. I think both teams feeling each other out. One thing we'll have to watch as well is neither of the teams going to their bench. A lot of the starters, especially in the midfield, playing offense and defense, which is fine in the first quarter. This is the time of year where conditioning should set in, should not start to affect until much later. Again, a little bit slower of a game from a 6-on-6 half field, but we'll see. It's going to be in the rides and clears where this is going to be won.
12 minutes back on the board. We're back to the face-off X, and Dylan Riccio comes away with it as he pulls it from Drew Allen and controls for the Bulldogs. Substitutions through the box. DeJesus on for the Bulldogs and joins Matthews and Helton. Helton comes out of the box with a little bit of lead on that substitution. Now Matthews, little stick fake, gets the defender to hesitate. Shot gets off, but Brock St. Gelais is there for the save. Some good saves early by the Lancers keeper.
Yeah, really nice save there. Dropping low, following the shot, sidearm down low. The goalie was able to gobble it up.
Woodward here, though, his pass as he tries to connect with the attack, low and away. It's not raining. I think there is some dampness out there. It might be messing with the players' sticks, getting it to bag out a little bit. We've seen a couple of errant passes here.
It's always the wand, not the magician, right?
We're trying to give these high schoolers a little benefit of the doubt here. Helton will step in, take a long time and space shot. Almost hits a couple kids playing over by the pole vaulting pit. Backed up behind by Purnell.
Yeah, one thing I've seen with Bedford, they didn't do it that time, but as they come down on offense, they're getting the ball around, which means getting it back through the attack, 2X, and being able to get a possession, get set, and as we've seen, be able to get still some really high-quality shots off from their midfield. That one kind of hurt.
Stick there, absolutely. Austin Callahan coming up with a body check, hits John Purnell. Ball pops out and the Lancers get going their way. Beautiful play there by Callahan. Coming around and scoring, Brody Campbell gets his second on the day. Beats his defenders, beats Kahn, and the Lancers go up 1.
Yeah, it was a bit of a disjointed play, a little odd man, a little bit of confusion during the substitution box. Good one-on-one take, and Ethan Kahn had that one. He probably thought he had it as well in his stick. Got him low. But as I go back, even though it hasn't, I think I jinxed him here for a second, but I like to see Bedford growing and maturing, being able to go through X, handle the substitution box a little bit better, and still get good shots off. I think that's real growth, and it's going to serve him well in the future.
Riccio comes away with it, can't secure the ground ball, and now the Lancers will. Nice job by Wyatt Arnold Picard. They get it to Colby Walden, who will settle. Excuse me, that's not Colby Walden, that's Owen Heward. He'll settle things down. Wait for the offensive unit to join him. Here's Owen Delory. Now Campbell. Back up top, Delory. Gets to his right hand, shot save up top. Ethan Kahn holds his ground. Just above his helmet, was able to make that stick save securely. Pops it up, gets the rebound easily. Now the Bulldogs look to clear it out.
Yeah, nice defensive set. Londonderry really not moving Bedford that much with a play, kind of one-on-one. So Bedford was able to absorb that. Kahn made a relatively workmanlike, easy save. Here we see some chaos, though, in the midfield on the clear for Bedford.
Ball getting tipped around here. The Lancers come away with the ground ball. Try to make a pass deep. Coming away with this one is Brody Campbell. The Lancers will settle in their offensive end. Just under 9 minutes here in the first half. Lancers lead 3-2. They spin it. Heward comes from behind. Nice D there around goal line extended to force the attacker out and away. Now bouncer goes High and away, Trey Campbell. That's one of those ones where he fires it into the turf only 5 yards away.
The humidity, probably.
I think so.
Yep.
Humidity, moisture on the turf. Campbell fires again. Looked odd coming out. I don't know if it caught the defender's stick there. It might have caught Will Frangelo on the way by. Riccio now gets beat high side, and the Lancers will cash in. Owen Heward gets his first on the day, 4-2 Lancers.
Yeah, here we say in the replay, really the slide came a bit too late, and Londonderry content taking the ball from X and going one-on-one and keeping all their midfielders high to create space. I think Bedford, has to adjust to this a little bit, maybe slouch in a bit, because we have not seen Londonderry sniping from the outside, hitting the goal. I think they need to shore up the inside and give up a little bit of the midfielder outside to stop this one-on-one plan from Londonderry.
Riccio comes away with the face-off. 8 minutes to go in the first half. 4-2 Lancers. Riccio runs into a double team. Ball goes on the turf. We're going to get a push from behind on the Bulldogs. The Lancers will scoop that up. Good hustle, just errant physical contact. Causes the referee to blow their whistle. Now the Lancers will look to clear. Good hustle by the attack on the ride, as usual.
I like that. Errant physical contact. Coach, it wasn't a foul. It was errant physical contact.
Yeah, I'm being aggressive. I'm making the aggressive mistake, Coach. You'd rather they do that than to sit and watch, right?
I wasn't so descriptive as a high school player. I'm a little bit jealous. I didn't think of that.
Coach, it was just errant physical contact. DeJesus rings it off the pipe, near side. Helton all the way out to midfield, scoops up the ground ball. He's in a little bit of trouble here. Gaudreau should call a timeout, and does. Nicely done to preserve that possession for the Bulldogs. 7:07 to go in this first half. Bulldogs trail by 2.
Bedford.
If you're enjoying the broadcast, you can check out more BHS sports action from Bedford Community TV on your Apple TV and/or Roku device. Download the app to watch the next game live on the big screen.
Big screen.
Yeah, you don't want to do it on your
Jumbo
phone.
vision.
We're all getting old here. You're going to need to have some reader glasses. Nice little replay here. DeJesus with time and space. Tried to go near side on St. Gelais and rang it off the near side pipe, but good to see Jacoby DeJesus, the sophomore, getting some run at midfield in this first half of action.
Yeah, even though that timeout was situational with Helton trapped in the corner off that very long rebound, I kind of feel like this is a good time for Bedford to get this, get in the huddle, get coach to give him a play. It's 4-2, but it doesn't feel like out of reach by any stretch. However, ... 7 minutes left. You don't want to give up another one. You want to get the goal early, win a face-off, and start some momentum going your way. So I don't mind that timeout at all.
Yeah. You call the timeout, but let's use it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's huddle up over here. Let's get something called. And Helton will start with it right at midfield. As we've seen the Lancers defense mixing it up here a little bit. Looks like they'll still ISO on Helton with this 1 and 5 look. Helton runs through one. Gets the shot off, and now the pass goes wayward right into Capello's stick. The net was open, and Capello missed the cage. And insult to injury, St. Gelais was closest to it when it went out, where it went out. So he backs it up, and the Lancers will get it. Now Capello sticks his stick in again, and now it goes off the Lancers deep. Wow, what are we watching?
Wow.
DJ?
Ball don't lie. Yeah, that was thrown right into Capello's stick. A little bit of redemption here after he missed a wide open cage.
He wants to step in and shoot. He does. Misses near side. Backed up behind. Those are the kinds of shots that the Bulldogs need to have more courage in taking. If the stick's not going to be on their hands, they have some time and space. Pepper the goalie. See what St. Gelais can do. Matthews up top. Little fake. Gets John Purnell far side. Ball gets popped out 3 and 4 players go to Matthews, but he can't find an avenue to find a teammate. Matthews will pull. Too high. Luke Purnell behind.
Yeah, it looks like Bedford's trying to run a play and settle in. A little bit of indecision there, stopping them from getting some inside shots.
John Purnell gets popped, but they'll call a loose ball push. That's a tough call.
Yeah.
Looked pretty clean from up here, but Bedford Bulldogs get the benefit of the doubt.
That's
tough one there, right? I mean, it's physical contact. The player ends up on the ground, but it's a physical sport, so that's one you'd prefer, even though the call was in favor of the Bulldogs here, still you'd prefer no call there.
Yeah, that's one of those tweeners where he actually had the ball in his stick and got knocked over, so usually that call, the push, would be without possession.
Here Matthews feeds John Purnell, and he buries 4-3. The Bedford Bulldogs back to within 1.
Yeah, absolutely. As we see this replay, we were talking before about Bedford not being able to draw. This was a clear case of Bennett Matthews pulling number 1 from Londonderry over to him. John Purnell getting to step in. That's how the play is supposed to work, with the ball in the back of the net.
Classic illustration of draw and dump there,
Classic.
too. I mean,
textbook.
Classic. I mean, if you look back at the lacrosse textbooks from 1947, you would see that draw and dump picturesque on page 47, illustration 4B.
That's right. That was Corey and my senior thesis way back when.
I hope everybody knows we're completely full of it. And now Helton dodges 2 players and knots the score. Individual effort there by Helton, and we're back knotted. The score is even. 5:28 to go here in the first half. We'll start everything over.
Yeah, it's a good one, though. As we were talking about before, here we see Teddy LaPointe after the face-off win, and Helton kind of jogging, not full speed, but was able to take advantage of Londonderry not collapsing. Really waltzed right through the middle of the field. And nice stick and score.
I've seen it for a couple of years now on the football field. That's deceptive speed and quickness from Helton. He splits with the cutback there, gets through the 2 defenders, gets time and space, and buries. Capello up top to Jesus. Back to Bennett Matthews. He'll bull dodge and get a shot off. It's smothered right at the goal line by St. Gelais. He needed that stop. Near side, Andrew Cody.
Looks like St. Gelais is guessing low on many of these shots and guessing correctly on the last probably quarter's worth. So wondering if Bedford can change that moving forward.
Scramble out front here. The ball gets batted around. And great hustle behind by Colby Walden. Gets to that end line before Kahn could get there. They considered that one-handed bat of the ground ball a shot. Ooh, maybe they don't. They adjust the call. I'm a bit surprised by that one.
Yeah, I was gonna protest for a different reason. I thought Kahn was.
And now Kahn gets called for the out and in. He took a step out of the crease, stepped back in, and to me, actually, that's the right call.
Yeah.
He fired the pass, but just a step late as that step went back into the crease. So
we've had a couple
strange ones, but again, we're staying knotted at 4 with 4.5 to go here in the first half. 2-goal run by the Bulldogs brings them back to even. But now the Lancers have a settled situation in their offensive end. Here's Heward. Up top, Thompson. Now Delory. Back to Thompson. Misses near side, pulls it.
Yeah, I think Bedford's happy to watch Londonderry initiate from the midfield, because Londonderry's really not breaking through Bedford's switching and defense up top. It's really when Londonderry's coming from behind that Bedford's seeing issues.
Lefty to lefty inside, getting free. Sticking his gloves, but Trey Campbell's able to score. The freshman with some nifty moves and gets it back to a 1-goal lead for the Lancers. Little swim move there. Bedford defenders going for the stick instead of the body, and they pay for it. The Lancers get one back here. 5-4.
Londonderry goal by number 21, Trey Campbell.
I think Londonderry may be listening into the broadcast as I just touted the strength of Bedford's midfield defense. We see a bit of a lapse, but still believe that they have the advantage when they're playing through, when Londonderry is trying to play through the midfield.
Riccio won the faceoff, won the ground ball. Beautiful check to get the ball out on the turf. I'm surprised we haven't had a failure to advance yet. And now that might be it. No, the Lancers get possession. They quickly call timeout. Nice job by Coach Ward to get that ball in his stick and talk it over on the sideline. Possible chance to go up by 2 before half. 3:28 to go. The Lancers lead by 1 as we approach halftime.
You know what that means, Corey, halftime. One of our favorite events of the year.
I am pumped. We do have the little bobbleheads ready to take the field at halftime. We'll see what kind of scrums we can establish, see how much of a field hockey game it looks like. But the Bedford Black squad will take on the Bedford Silver squad. I have no idea how old they are, but it's going to be phenomenal. A Royal Rumble.
Bunch of little lion cubs out there. Cannot wait.
Love it. We'll see if the officials will want to officiate. Probably not. They'll want to arrest. But if you at home are interested in becoming a high school sports official, it's an easy call. Officiating allows you to continue to be a role model by demonstrating qualities such as impartiality, fairness, and courage. High school sports officials help protect the integrity of the games we love by teaching and enforcing the rules of play. New officials have an opportunity to make a difference in their communities right away. To learn more about becoming a high school sports official, please visit nhiaa.org. That's for you, Murph. New Hampshire officiating legend Sean Murphy in the box today. Probably going to tell Tyler Leeds how terrible he is at what he does. No, I'm just kidding. We like to rag on Leeds a lot, but
constructive criticism.
Of course. Ticking down to 3 minutes to go here. Again, the Lancers lead 5-4. Driving hard, dishing far side, and now gets back up top to Trey Campbell. Campbell misses the pass with Aiden Stowell. Matthews scoops it up, and he'll have an odd man break. Matthews, Purnell, back to Matthews. She gets it off, misses wide, backed up behind. I like that early pass to the point man. I'm not sure it was the best choice to go back to him, but Purnell probably could have gone low. They set up the lefty break. They have that privilege of doing so with Purnell. He can run things at the left side. Now Helton stings the top corner. Beautiful pass, beautiful finish. Luke Purnell to Helton, and it's knotted at 5.
Yeah, and here we see the replay. Purnell with eyes up. Londonderry sinking in to try to get the midfield, the crease, and Helton letting loose. Nice shot. Going back to that fast break, I agree. They had the early pass, but oftentimes that point attackman who gets that pass needs to be way higher. Once he got it back to Matthews, who had a full head of steam, everything had collapsed. So love to see a bit more spacing there to really let Matthews get his hands free.
Riccio pulls the face off back, scoops it backwards, and Drew Allen is there for the GB. Scoops it up, and the Lancers control. Here's Austin Callahan. He finds Colby Walden. And now Trey Campbell. Back up top to Blake Thompson. Substitutions are all made, and now Odin Delory will look to ISO, the freshman, going hard at Riccio. Draws the double, tries to pass to the cutter from behind, and Khan is there to pick it off. He passes to Riccio. Riccio forward headman to Riccio. This is Brian Riccio. Runs a 5-on-4. No numbers though, as the Lancers get back in transition. Matthews will press the issue, shoots and scores, sticks that top right corner. And the Bulldogs go ahead by 1.
Yeah, we see here Matthews, nice individual effort, has a short stick on him. defender slow to slide and able to ping that corner. I will note too, again, as we talk about maturation in the Bulldogs game plan, saw a new clear as Kahn made a relatively easy save. Dylan Riccio actually ran around the goal from behind, a short stick, make the easy pass. He was able to, with a short stick in his hands, kind of look upfield and get that fast break going. That's a new wrinkle in Bedford's game plan, and it seems to be working out really well.
Nice job to incorporate the shorties a little bit more here. Riccio wins on the violation on Allen. Riccio beats the long stick midfielder. He'll settle though. And now the long stick midfielder gets a stick on it. That's Austin Callahan again. Runs into trouble. Ball back on the turf. Batted around again. Helton had it briefly. Now Riccio. And Coach Gaudreau will take a timeout. Says, that's enough of this mess. We got a minute 9 seconds left before we take a break. Let's call the timeout.
Can't take them with you. Absolutely.
We absolutely cannot. So Bulldogs scrape back. They were down 4-2. They scored 2 quick ones to knot it at 4. Campbell put the Lancers back ahead, and then 2 more by the Bulldogs puts them ahead by 1. I believe that's their first lead of the afternoon at 6-5 with a minute 9 left here in the first half.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, as we look at a replay here, we see the midfield of Londonderry getting open and Kahn not able to make that save.
Trey Campbell picking that low left corner.
This is the really nice look from Purnell where, you know, Helton's got 5 yards at least to clear his hands.
15-yard shot smokes the upper corner.
And then the individual effort by Bennett Matthews pinging it to the top right. Nice series of goals there.
Plucking corners, love to see it.
That's right. I tell you, 6-5 feels about right for this game. It feels like Bedford's been able to control certain areas, but there's been a little bit of, ups and downs here and there. However, this is a great opportunity to go up too for them rolling into halftime.
Couple posts by each squad. Goalies getting a little help from their friends. Scoring summary here. Trey Campbell, the freshman, has 2 goals for Londonderry. Brody Campbell also has 2 goals. Owen Heward with their 5th. For the Bulldogs, their 6 are made by the Purnell brothers. John has 2, Luke has 1, Helton with 2, and Matthews with 1. That rounds out their 6 as we have just about a minute to go here in this first half. Bulldogs have set up an offense.
Looks like Londonderry is in a bit of a zone here.
They are. Bulldogs try to run the wheel, take the first available shot. St. Gelais is good for it. Offside stick save. Bulldogs ride hard. Ball gets on the ground.
You take it. You take it.
Yeah, no, it's yours. No, you take it. Ow! Don't hit me with that thing. Matthews runs away from a couple of defenders and will settle. They get yet another shot at it. Helton up top now.
Yeah, this is fortuitous. I mean, going back with a minute left, love to see Bedford only play offense for the rest of this half.
Shot was blocked out front. Scramble around for the ball. Capello comes away with it. Now Purnell fires up top. Same connection, but this time not quite as accurate. Now Helton will get pushed from behind. That's a tough one there. Easy call there. Fans are going bananas. Helton's stick came out of his hand. They could have called participating without the stick in your hand and given it to the Lancers. They don't. Matthews gets a shot, sails it far side. But the Lancers are there to back it up quickly. I think it was Graham Cunningham that was closest to it when it went out, where it went out. Now full field pass here will tick us down to the first half being over. The Bulldogs were down early. A couple 2-goal runs gets them in charge at halftime. We'll take a break and join you on the other half for Division I boys lacrosse action here from Bedford High School. We'll see you in a few minutes.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or Copperdoor.com.
And we're back here at Bedford High School, ready for second half action as the Bulldogs take on the Londonderry Lancers. Halftime score 6-5. The Bulldogs, with a 2-goal run at the end of the second quarter, were able to regain the lead. They trailed 4-2 early in that second quarter, but were able to come back and gain the lead before heading to the locker rooms for a break. Jay, any thoughts from that first half of action?
Yeah, I think we saw Bedford start out strong and then kind of got away from what was working. But in the second quarter, they were able to move the ball around, work it, use some of that great individual play that they have. But again, move the ball and take some momentum. Love to see them continue that into this half and really put Londonderry really away. Get some breathing room.
Londonderry back to that adapted zone defense. Looks like they're putting a little one-man action on Helton as Purnell comes from behind. Luke Purnell, great dodge, gets high, little shovel shot past the keeper, and the Bulldogs take a quick 2-goal lead here early in the second half.
Yeah, we saw in that replay, Purnell beat his guys so cleanly. The goalie actually had to come out and try to chip. Wasn't successful, and Purnell was shooting on an open cage. Really nice move by Purnell, good awareness.
Luke Purnell's second of the game, and the Bulldogs go up by 2.
Number 1, John Purnell.
So Luke Purnell gets it again. He'll settle things down. Matthews from up top, trotting in from the substitution box. Near side Helton, he'll fire. Shot got tipped, but backed up from behind John Purnell. Purnell looks to go back-to-back, inside roll, bouncer goes. Beautiful move by Purnell. We say inside roll, we'll see it here on the replay. Drives hard right, he spins back to the inside, keeps it in his right hand, and is able to finish. Another phenomenal play by Luke Purnell, 2 in a row, and he's got a 3-goal lead for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and this is just awareness, right? Seeing where the matchup works, that inside roll, plant that foot hard. I have to admit, I think they caught Londonderry in between defenses. I'm not quite sure if they're playing a zone, a man, or some type of hybrid, but Purnell is able to see the opening and take advantage.
It's nice that the Bedford attack are starting to really attack from behind, press that edge there right at goal line extended, and Purnell is the one to do it. Pass high here by Helton. They turn it over on an easy one, but 2 quick goals to start the third quarter, and the Bulldogs up by 3.
Yeah, unforced error there. Unfortunate, but let's see if they can continue to pressure on this ride. We see Bedford sinking into the midfield and trying to trap. Nice pass there by Londonderry.
Cam Ayotte runs the break. Tic-tac, no toe here. They don't get an open shot, so Walden chooses to pull it down and live another day. Here's Heward, gets a step. Good chase down from behind by Boyd. Stick with the play. And now out and running. Here's Teddy LaPointe. Can't connect near side with John Purnell. Tough one there.
That was unfortunate. Purnell just took his eye off the ball, but Bedford actually had a man up, well, I should say, a man advantage in that fast break. Wasn't able to move make the connections.
Oh, wow. Here's a weird call. So the defender, Graham Cunningham, picked up the ball. The whistle blew, and he wanted to put it down so a midfielder would lead the break there. He put it down out of bounds. The near side official caught it all, and it leads to a Brody Helton goal here.
Curious.
Dodge gets to his left hand, puts it back in his right. Low shot beats St. Gelais. That's a tough turn of events for the Lancers, and the Bulldogs take advantage. I can't say the official was wrong, right? He blew the whistle. He started the play. The defender put the ball down, and the ball was out of bounds when he put it down. That's just a tough turn of events.
That's one of those ones. Again, it's not wrong.
Right. Tough one. So Helton gets his third on the day. Bulldogs quickly with 3 goals to start this third quarter. They're up by 4 with 9.5 to go in the third quarter. Helton has a step coming in, misses the pass. Over and back is nullified as Brody Campbell gets the loose ball for the Lancers. No numbers, nice back cut here. Heward sails it high. Ooh, it looked like Kahn was closest when it went out, where it went out, but they give it to the Lancers. From behind, Brody Campbell will start things off. Tough backup call there.
Always good to hear some of the parents from the stands trying to instruct and educate the referees on the game's rules. But
it's actually a really high likelihood that the referee changes their call based on parent input.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've seen that happen before.
Absolutely.
I see it all the time.
Yep.
It's yeah, pretty high probability. Helton here with a little swim move. Ball gets out, scoops it up, runs through 4 people, 5, and then finishes. Helton takes it to the house. 60-yard touchdown run by Brody Helton.
Excuse me for the last. No, something happened there. Number 4 on Londonderry.
Wow.
Andrew just had a straight shot as we see the replay here. Helton run it through.
Little cut back there, runs through another
Number 4 is
there.
going to come through and ready to go and just misses. A little shiftiness as you referred to earlier from Helton. Just completely misses that hip check. Helton comes completely free and scores the easy bucket.
And you know, that's not because the defender whiffed. That's evasiveness on Helton's part. He's amazing at avoiding contact and shifting and sloughing off that contact. And here we see it, 2 goals in a row. Helton puts the Bulldogs up by 5.
Yeah, Brody, it's hard. It's, you know, Brody's a real small kid, so you can understand someone missing him. As we joke, Brody, a big, strong guy. That was really nice shiftiness, though. Give him credit. Had the defender pushing it air.
He is evasive, probably about 6 foot. I'm not sure how tall he is, but he's got to be at about 215, 220. He's a big boy and runs through a lot of those checks. So the Lancers will settle things down, try to give their defense a break as Colby Walden with an inside roll finds the cutter. Eaten up on the shot, Ethan Kahn, beautiful save. High, settles things down and sets up the clear. Frangelo looks for the cutter out of the box, misses it, but coming up to scoop up the ground ball, Parker Gupta gets it low for Luke Purnell.
Yeah, and I think this is where we see, you know, good for Parker Gupta, who's had plenty of playing time. I think this is where we see Bedford suffering a bit from the thin ranks at midfield as they put Gupta in at attack and let Evan Capello run midfield, which is his natural position from last year. So, again, I don't think they miss a lot, but as we go through this game, the legs and the fitness is going to be tested a bit for Bedford as they don't have a ton of options as substitutes.
St. Gelais there gets control of it. 7 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Ball bounces off the clearing midfielder. Beautiful play. Luke Purnell absorbs the contact and sticks it top left corner. Nice play by Luke Purnell.
Yeah, as we just talked about Gupta, keeping his eyes up, moving his feet. Purnell absorbing, I think, is the right way to say it, and not affecting his shot. Really good ride, really good opportunity for Bedford, and now we see them starting to pull away as we probably thought they would be in the first quarter and first half. But good to see the bucket, the buckets being scored, ball in the goal.
So Luke Purnell from Gupta, and the Bulldogs ahead by 6. Lancers get into the offensive end. They'll settle things down. And again, look to give their defense a little bit of breathing room. Luke Purnell's 4th goal on the game there. Gupta with the assist. Teddy LaPointe chasing the midfielder around. That's Aiden Stoll. Comes from behind. He'll settle. Feeds up top. Heward Pulls it down onto Thompson. Lefty tries to get his hands free. Now Walden picks the pipe. And again, Kahn with a little help from his friend.
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a surprise to Kahn. Not really an angle, nor was he free, but shot anyway. And Kahn will take the assist from the pipe.
You fucking get on him!
Capello comes back to help. Midfielder with the clear. Now Gupta protects the stick, runs away from pressure from Andrew Cody. And from up top again, Matthews sidesteps the defender, bounce shot. A lot of steam, can't hit the cage. Helton's behind and able to back it up. 5:30 to go in this third quarter. 11-5, the Bulldogs lead by 6. Helton dips the shoulder. Lefty shot, buries one. Helton has 5 now, and he alone has been doing some work in this third quarter.
Yeah, smart plays. Not sure if we're going to replay here, but we saw Helton start the inbounds, and Matthews with a short stick understood it. And here's where you play the pick game. One of the two is going to come out of this with a short stick. Helton chose correctly, was able to turn the corner relatively easy, and shot with no pressure. Helton's going to have a player to put that away most of the time.
A 6-goal run by the Bulldogs. Coach Ward wants a timeout. They'll settle things down, talk it over, and figure out how to stop this rather fruitful third quarter Bedford offense.
This vaunted offense.
This juggernaut.
Prolific.
Bedford offense.
Prolific. Yeah, we joked though. I mean, they've really turned it on in this second half. Really only, a few minutes in, 5, 6, 7 minutes in, been able to turn the tide of this game. Now they're running a little bit downhill.
They sure are. 5:22 remains in this third quarter. If you want to see some, we will see some replays here, but I do want to make sure that we talk about the next broadcast. Again, for the boys lacrosse team, they'll take on the Pinkerton Astros next Friday. That should be a great tilt. That starts. Face-off is at 5:30 p.m. We will bring you that here on BCTV. 2 other games next week. On Tuesday, the softball team will take on the Manchester Central West team. That first pitch is at 4 p.m. on Tuesday, so tune in for softball action. And then girls lacrosse will host the Souhegan Sabres on Wednesday, the 28th. Opening draw, 5:30 p.m. for the girls lacrosse squad. Also, for all those lacrosse enthusiasts, if you have not been tuning in to the NCAA men's tournament, the Final Four is this weekend. Should be some marvelous lacrosse action to pay attention to. Semifinals are tomorrow on Saturday, and of course the finals on Monday. Jay, your beloved Orangemen, back in the semifinals for, I don't know what, like the 978th time?
Yep, you got it. It's good to be orange. Yeah, hopefully go down and cheer them on with some of my old teammates from long ago in the parking lot and in the stands. But you're right, both boys, men's and women's. This is such high level lacrosse. If our airwaves are hitting you, I know we're a global operation, but if you're anywhere near the Gillette Stadium in that zip code in that region, find your way down there because it's a fantastic watch. Really great opportunity and atmosphere.
Are you going to require all of our listeners to come in bright orange and blue?
Oh, well, absolutely.
Okay, just making sure. I thought you might have that prerequisite for anybody attending.
I will be handing out Head, Heart, Hustle stickers, which is the Syracuse Orangemen slogan.
I actually envision you wearing your game jersey. That with maybe even like game-worn socks from 2000.
Yes, long time ago, Corey, long time ago.
Again, that 2000 squad will be honored at halftime on Monday to celebrate their 25th anniversary of their championship. Good for you as your captain of that squad. And should be a fun time to get back together with some of your teammates there.
The tailgate will be epic. It's already shaping up to be a good day, starting tomorrow.
I was just about to say, I think it might have already started.
Yeah.
So we'll get back to action here as the Lancers are probing this Bedford defense, searching for any crack possible. The defense is held strong here in the third quarter. Here's Colby Walden, comes from behind. They sling it around. Blake Thompson, the lefty, looks to get some space and hands free. They'll fire it over to Delory.
And we've seen young Teddy Lapointe, the freshman, playing long stick early in the year, but as the needs have arisen, he's done a nice job putting the short stick. I understand in his younger days he's had that position, so it's not unfamiliar, but he's done a nice job position body-wise, holding up, in some cases, a lot bigger midfielders, and has really transitioned well into that short stick position.
Tough spot for him as he's going to grow and mature and gain more muscle, but as a freshman, he's occasionally been pushed around physically, but he's got the skills, he's got the positioning. Hopefully he's got the communication to contribute there. Frangelo plays good one-on-one defense there. Forces a tough shot high and away. Lancers will back up the shot by Brody Campbell. Get another opportunity. Here's Heward from behind. Guarded by Brian Riccio from behind. Switch there. Defender loses their footing. Dodge there inside. Get a loose ball hold, probably. There it is. They do blow it dead as Trey Campbell made a nice dodge and avoided a defender. Possible they could have called a hold, but that ball came out and was loose, so they keep it as a loose ball.
Londonderry still trying to, as you said, find the cracks. A lot of one-on-one holding the ball, and as we know, the ball moves faster than the feet. In order to break into this defense, you got to move the ball quickly and catch him on the second, third, fourth skips, and Londonderry just has not opted to do that, doing more one-on-one play at this time.
Look to row one-on-one here. Blake Thompson, he'll fire it around. Look for Cutter's backside. Beautiful pass and finish there. Owen Heward to the cutting Colby Walden. And the Lancers have their first goal of this third quarter.
As we say, the ball moves faster than the feet. Great cut by number 2 there, Colby Walden, catching the defense, staring at the ball. Londonderry, if they're going to have a shot to get 6 more goals here sometime soon, they're going to have to do a lot more of that.
Walden has his first goal of the afternoon. Assist from Heward.
Assist number 7, Owen Heward.
And they bring it back to half a dozen. Bulldogs ahead 12-6. Riccio scrambling and scrapping for that loose ball on the face-off. Does get control. Now gets into the offensive area. Draws a crowd. Buries his head. It would have behooved him to shoot that ball, but he eats it, and the Lancers come away with the loose ball.
Yeah, Dylan had that sniff of the goal, made the right move, but wasn't quite feeling it on his offhand. Probably could have passed, saw the defender coming, and chose the contact over the shot.
Let her go, youngster.
That's right. Unleash the hounds.
Shot here by Brody Campbell goes wide. Backed up by Walden.
Those face-off guys, they're always looking for contact, you know. Ex-hockey player there, Riccio. Not ex, excuse me, current hockey player. That would have been a good opportunity for a goal.
Love the scrappiness. Just let her go. Coach Gaudreau couldn't fault you for that one.
That's right.
Shot here. Finds that low left corner. Trey Campbell has a hattie. 2 quick goals here by the Lancers has them back to within 5.
Yeah, and much like we're watching the NBA playoffs here, with the three-point shooter, you never want to go underneath that pick. I think Santos was trying to be quick about it, but went underneath the pick, and that opened up Campbell's hands, was able to shoot from about 15 yards out and able to bury it. Like to see Santos go over the pick and stay with and get his hands on the shooter's, stick on the shooter's hands.
Lapointe, we were talking about his scrappiness. He comes away with the ground ball. Bulldogs have another opportunity to score before this third quarter ends. Helton takes the contact, gets a little space, shot goes high. Nice job there. Cam Ayotte just stepping into the passing lane, extending that stick, picking it, and getting the turnover for the Lancers. He turns it over again, though. Pass, looking for his midfield teammate, and Matthews was there, steps in. Swim move, bull dodge, rolls away from pressure, finds Helton. Shot, too high.
Yeah, nice ride there by Bedford, giving up the ball kind of easily on that inbounds, but able to get it back. That's the difference between 6 goals or 7 goals and 12 goals, I think, and that's what's helped the lead.
Lancers come up with a ground ball, fired ahead. Heads up play by Walden. Nice D there by Colby Boyd to get a little wrap check and gets the ball on the ground. Bulldogs mishandle it though and send it out of bounds, giving the Lancers another opportunity. Just under 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. The Bulldogs ahead 12-7. I think Coach Ward calls a timeout here and sets a play. No, he does not. They get started.
Let it ride.
Let her ride. They let her ride with Odin Delory up top. He ISOs. Tries to get the step, tries to draw. Kahn comes up with a save on the shot, and now Brian Riccio with the ground ball. He tries to run the break, but it doesn't have nearly enough time. The long distance shot from midfield harmlessly into St. Gervais' hands, and that ends the third quarter. The Bulldogs ahead 12-7. We'll take a quick break to hear from our underwriters and join you for fourth quarter action here from Bedford High School.
BCTV and WBNH thank our underwriters. Primary Bank, New Hampshire's bank for business. PrimaryBankNH.com. The Wicks Insurance Group, serving New Hampshire and the Bedford community with auto, home, life, and business insurance since 1984. TheWicksInsuranceGroup.com. Interim Healthcare of Manchester, personalizing care to help meet your unique health needs. InterimHealthcare.com. Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, your local brokerage boutique. Relationships built on trust. MrsNelsonsNeighborhood.com. Great New Hampshire restaurants. Food tastes better with family. Tbones.com or Copperdoor.com.
And we're back ready for fourth quarter action here from Bedford High School. Again, a quick live thank you to our underwriters. Appreciate them supporting our live sports coverage. Primary Bank, the Wicks Insurance Group, Interim Healthcare of Manchester, Nelson Real Estate of New Hampshire, and Great New Hampshire Restaurants, T-Bones, and the Copper Door. We're ready to face it off. 12 minutes back on the board. 12-7 is your score. The Bulldogs lead by 5. Dylan Riccio back to the face-off X against Drew Allen. Riccio has been coming up heads on a lot of these face-offs, really dominating the X here today. Bulldogs trying to get some odd mans here right off the bat. Helton with a defender draped all over him. Low shot, smothered again. Brock St. Gelais with the save. Gets it out into transition. Tyler Knapp will run and take a tour of the offensive end. Pass it to Aiden Stoll. I think he went out of bounds off that end line there. Stoll did, right?
Yeah, and I think we saw a little bit of extension of the defense there by Bedford, causing an unforced error.
Kahn will start things off from his crease. Near side to Boyd. Capello taking his time there. Off the stick of Frangelo, but it stays inbounds. Luke Purnell comes up with the Lucy. Matthews, bull dodge. He gets popped from the help defender, Cam Ayotte. Flags fly, and now Ayotte with a takeaway check will sweep it over the end line. I think Ayotte will go for a personal foul there. Tough one there. I actually kind of like Ayotte's play there. He's sticking up for his defender. You see the replay here. Matthews gets the ball, tries to run over the defender. Ayotte comes over with the help. Gets a bit high, and it is a cross check, so that'll be at least a minute of feeling shame in the sin bin. I don't know if they'll lock it in or not, but it should be about a minute penalty there.
Yeah, the right call. I mean, to start with, lucky Bennett didn't get a bit of an offensive ward with leading with the head, but
or catching a cross check up under the chin. I mean, it was an active play there.
Active. That's
active.
Right. but Bedford the beneficiary here because that was the second penalty, was actually a penalty of the cross check. So let's see what Bedford can do in this man up. And again, talking about on man up, moving the defense, finding that 2-on-1 that makes sense, get the easy shot here.
They spin it around, they look for cutters. Matthews up top, draws 2. Good physical defense there up top. Aiden Marshall providing some contact there in combination with Tyler Knapp. Might see Matthews take a little bit higher cut there just to give himself a little more room. Helton fires from that right wing. Goes a bit high and outside. Gupta with the backup.
Yeah, we saw Gupta there from behind, pass it all the way up into the middle. When you're playing defense on man down, that's the hardest pass to get back to if it's successful. Hopefully you knock it down, but when you get all the way across and that pass connects, you are wide open and susceptible to that long-range shot.
Helton's pass there was tipped by Callahan. Nice job with the active stick. Helton's shot wide. Bulldogs keep possession with Luke Purnell closest to it.
Got a little game of duck hunt here, a little shooting gallery.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, hands free, green light.
Try to pick those corners. If you miss, you back it up. Helton again, high. Backed up by Purnell again. They're going to keep going back to the well there until Helton finds that corner.
Yeah, and it's really initiating from Purnell back behind, getting the skip pass, leaving open. Another shot from Helton.
Save St. Gelais. Matthews shot. Man, I had some heat. Can't hit the cage though. And the Lancers kill off the penalty. Nice job by Londonderry to eat up that minute of play.
Yeah, I think you saw at the end, number 22, Austin Callahan, getting a stick on the hands of Matthews. At the end, a little fist bump from Matthews, representing game, as they say.
Couple Bedford scores to update everybody on. The girls lacrosse team fell to the Pinkerton Astros. 12-10 was the final. Softball squad lost to Merrimack 9-1. Baseball leads Merrimack in the bottom of the 4th. 12-2 is the score there. 12-7 is your score here as Helton looks to make it 13. Matthews shot, just too much heat, and they have a baker's dozen. They match his jersey number, and the Bulldogs ahead by 6.
Yeah, and again on the replay, we see Helton taking advantage of the short stick, and there's just so many times Londonderry can give up this 15, 10, actually probably 12-yard shot by these strong shooters and come away unscathed. So took a little bit, a lot of shots, probably volume shooters, you know, maybe the Seth Curry type of thing. But at the end of the day, Bedford coming away with a pretty easy goal.
Matthews second on the day. Helton gets the assist. Riccio wins the face-off. And that's been a strong point for the Bulldogs this afternoon, especially here in the second half.
And Corey, every time I see sequences like this where shooters are shooting, just yet another case study where I think about why in goodness name would you be a goalie?
Well, we've both known for a long time that anybody that chooses to play goalie has a loose screw somewhere.
Yeah.
And anybody that's good at it has incredible reflexes and has a loose screw somewhere. As Matthews draws a crowd here, somebody's likely going to get a push from behind. Matthews scoops it up, gets away from pressure. Looked like, I don't know, 12 guys there at the top of the crease. His behind the back pass is off the mark, and the Lancers will come out of their own end.
Yeah, Matthews was very hopeful, maybe. A little bit of a rugby scrum, trying to come through that Londonderry defense. To their credit, they collapsed. But good movement, clean playing, and you know, here we see Bedford trying to ride and get the ball back.
Triple and quadruple team hits that ball on the turf, and that ride that you're just talking about leads to the turnover. Helton takes a cross check from behind. The ball pops out and right to St. Gelais.
You gotta wonder, did spring practice start for the football team? We see a lot of initiated contact from, as we see another one from Luke Purnell. A lot of contact initiated from Bedford. That's definitely a bit of a change and an evolution in their playing style, and it is paying off here as they are taking it to Londonderry.
Physical play, love to see it. And a slow whistle too. I mean, traditionally you might have seen 1 or 2 calls well before now, but I love that they're letting them play. It seems from all appearances that they're all clean plays, stick checks, body checks, shoulder to shoulder, no helmet to helmet stuff. So fun to see it. Good action.
Absolutely. Everybody going for the ball, and that's kind of all you can ask for. You don't want the refs to become the star players in a game, and they're doing a really nice job today, keeping the game going, but keeping it clean.
I mean, let's not be over the top here. And it's still, Mr. Tyler lead. So if he watches this replay, we can say, okay, yeah, you did fine.
I know. I choked a little bit there. It's tough to get out, but you got to say it once in a while.
That's fair. That's fair.
They won't come back if we don't.
Shot here, stick side high for Khan. Makes the save. The Bulldogs look to clear it out. 13-7 is your score. Just under 7 to go in this game. LaPointe gets ahead of steam, draws a crowd, and the Bulldogs will get a failure to advance as, they'll take a timeout. They'll take a timeout.
Yeah, good timeout as they were about to get a failure to advance.
It's weird how you have that internal clock. Yep. You're not on the field, but you can still feel the time just getting short. And LaPointe was putting the head down, trying to get through 1, 2, and 3 defenders, and Coach Gaudreau makes the right call with the timeout. 6:44 to go, and a 6-goal lead. I want to make sure everybody out there knows that BCTV's live channels and on-demand content are now easier to access at your fingertips than ever before. Bedford Community Television is available for free download on Apple iOS and Android. Download the Bedford Community Television app from your app store today.
Today. Post haste.
Today, Maury, today. Little movie reference for those mob movie aficionados out there.
So what do you think, Corey, they're talking about in the Bedford huddle with 6:44 left in the fourth?
I'm thinking about valuing the ball.
Ooh, yeah.
Possession being key. You have a 6-goal lead with 6:45 to go. Let's be deliberate. That doesn't mean we're going to go armadillo offense and, turtle in the corner. That means let's be sure about our passes and catches. Let's make the short one. Let's be keen on this possession. Let's clear it out, first of all, nicely into the offensive end. And run a nice settled offense here. Let's get 1 or 2 sets, try to get that open shot. But when we have the ball, let's be smart on defense. Keep playing good position defense. Help out your teammates when they get beat.
Yeah,
that's
I agree. No, I like it. You should be a coach. I think, too, it's all about momentum. As we get to later on in the year, 6 minutes left, Bedford has the game in hand. You really want to find some positives in every play, every possession to keep that momentum going your way as they go not only finish out this game, but get into the next.
Lancers moving into a man defense. Matthews rolls away from pressure, finds John Purnell on the backside. John Purnell with the Hattie now. Beautiful finish, lefty low to high, and they stretch it out to a 7-goal lead.
Yeah, and just what we talked about, that's a really good lacrosse play. Matthews not trying to do too much. Drew the defender, the second defender who stayed. No one rotated over to Purnell, and Matthews made about the easiest pass he could make there. Purnell buried it, so nice to see a textbook play by Bedford to extend the lead.
Matthews with the assist. He has 2 and 1. As I said, John Purnell with a Hattie on the evening. 14-7 is your score. Scoring leaders for the Bulldogs, Helton with 5. Luke Purnell with 4. 3 for John Purnell, 2 for Bennett Matthews. Nicely tiered for me, so I don't have to count too much. 7
you have to
goals.
take off your sock and start counting toes if not.
I know. For the Londonderry Lancers, as Luke Purnell draws the double. Helton with the ground ball, looks to the middle. DeJesus has it glance off his stick. For the Lancers, Trey Campbell with 3, Brody Campbell with 2. 2 and 1 each for Owen Heward and Colby Walden. That rounds out their 7 goals on the afternoon.
Good day to be a Purnell, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, what? We got 7 between
goals,
the two of them? 50% of the offense coming out of one house.
Nice. Yeah, one address.
Not too shabby.
Very nice output there.
And those two, talented offensive players is Matthews hard on the ride. Capello comes away with the Lucy. Settle it down, right, Coach Gaudros? Let's settle. Let's get everything where we want it.
Run away.
Yeah.
Just run away.
7 goals from the Purnell brothers and 7 goals from Helton and Matthews combined. So those 4 are making up all of the offensive output this afternoon. As Matthews gets it behind, he matches up against the shorter. We can imagine a rather quick slide. Or maybe not. Matthews shot high and wide, backed up by Capello.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting is Matthews, sometimes when you're running hard, you're actually running hard into that slide as he slow rolled that and kind of jogged around. And Matthews is able to do that given the big body. He actually kept the slide away from him a little bit, was able to clear his hands.
4.5 to go. Bulldogs ahead by 7. Bedford on the way out here. Of course, Londonderry this afternoon as Capello gets free and rolls one in. Nice little play inside and good hands on a tight pass. Capello handles that one.
Yeah, here we see
quite well.
Helton coming from his knees and Capello just able to float, find the soft spot in the zone, find the soft spot in the defense, and nice underhand turn shot.
Capello. Assist number 19.
So Helton with 5 and 2. Offensive masterpiece for the big junior. With 4:18 left, it's 15-8. As I was mentioning, Bedford on the way out, of course, of the regular season. They play at Manchester Memorial Central combined team. That's Tuesday at 6. And then they play at Keene Monadnock at 4:30 on Thursday. Excuse me, that's I think that's Wednesday. They play back-to-back. Santos finds the cutter, backside. Kobe Rubin with the goal. Nice connection there from Cam Santos.
Great to see it. Getting hit, absorbing, but still finding the open attacker, Kobe Rubin. Very nice to see from this fresh crowd coming into the game.
Again, those back-to-back games, Tuesday and Wednesday for the Bulldogs, and then they close out the regular season. As we were mentioning, we'll bring you that contest against Pinkerton next Friday afternoon, evening at 5:30 p.m. for their last game of the season. Londonderry, on the other hand, has just 2 games left. They play at Concord on Wednesday, 6:30 p.m., and then they will host Bishop Girton on Thursday evening at 6 p.m. to close out their regular season. Of course, these 2 teams will both make the playoffs. 10-4 records right now. We'll see about seeding and what matchups are. There's a scramble in front. Looks a little more like field hockey right now. Frangelo comes away with it. Tosses it up towards midfield. Gupta gets it going towards the other end. Nice job there by the midfielder Owen Delory to get back and make sure there wasn't an offside. Brody Campbell scores another for his hat trick. A little, too late. Yeah. 16-8.
Good cut, lefty behind the back. A little bit of slickness there, but we were laughing. Very good awareness by the midfielder as the defender was barreling over. Midfielder stepped back to keep the offsides at bay. Great heads-up play by Londonderry.
Yeah, that was the freshman Odin Delory. Defender was barreling over. That was Andrew Cody, and the midfielder was barreling back. So, good job towing the line there. Riccio wins the face-off. In front, St. Gelais comes up with a stop. Sebastian Wright there trying to finish the play. St. Gelais' pass all the way up. Khan comes up with a save.
That's the new goal.
Excuse me, yeah, that's not Khan. That's Matt Ben in there. Bulldogs turn it over on the clear.
Oh,
Walden can't scoop up the GB, but Frangelo comes away with it for the Bulldogs.
excuse the sound effects. We had Matt Ben was coming up towards that ball there. Lucky he didn't get caught out of net.
A little bit back and forth action here as some substitutions have come on for both squads, I believe. Bulldogs looking back door again for Kobe Rubin. Can't squeeze it. Almost trickles over the end line and finally gets checked out, I believe, by Cody. So the Lancers will scoop it up. 1:46 to go in this game. Bulldogs ahead 16-8. St. Gelais with the Gilman finds the stick of his attackman. Walden, little fake high, go low. Little combination play there from Brody Campbell on the assist and Colby Walden on the goal.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bedford getting caught up in some of these bouncing balls. Maybe it's the light, maybe it's the humidity, not quite sure, but ball got through, and Londonderry, the last couple goals, has been a beneficiary of being able to pick up those odd bounces and having one-on-ones with the goalie.
I'm going to go with the brisk weather on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 52, no higher than that on this beautiful March evening. Oh, I'm sorry, May evening. As Mother Nature has been toying with us this week here in New England. A nor'easter. And another goal here. Owen Heward, nice little cut. Assist from Walden.
Londonderry making a push here. It's a great opportunity, though, for some of these kids that don't get a lot of playing time to feel a little bit of pressure. Oftentimes, it's getting in when it's a little bit less intense. But here, Londonderry, you get a team pushing, running. We see a nice backdoor cut there, good feed, and this is a great opportunity for this next squad of Bedford to tighten up a little bit, kind of look at each other, say, hey, all right, let's do a little bit better here.
Riccio comes away with the ground ball and the face-off win. Now they'll settle things down. Final score from the baseball diamond. The Bulldogs defeat the Merrimack Tomahawks 12-2. As their regular season is coming to a close as well. Inside a minute to go. Parker Gupta now behind for the Bulldogs. Little stutter step trying to get away from pressure. Ooh, I think he might have stepped out of bounds on the end line. Under pressure from Cam Ayotte.
Great vision from that referee, seeing it from about 20 yards away.
Ayotte tries to make the connection at the midfield. It bounces off his teammate's stick. The 1-2 pass gets to Trey Campbell. Khan has to come up with a save. Brody Campbell is there for the rebound. He has 4 goals. We have 18 seconds to go, and 4 goals in a row by the Lancers has brought this one back a little closer than Coach Gaudreau is probably wanting. That should just about do it, though. Jay, final thoughts from the game?
Hey, this has been the longest minute and a half, I think, in Bedford history. But final thoughts, I think, excluding these last minute or two, I think Bedford really handled business. A couple things. I see growth in the clearing game, more structured clears. I see growth in their ability to move it through X, and I see growth as well when they are 6-on-6, being able to run some plays, picks, all of things which we would expect from the team. No shocker there, but it's nice to see them working here late in the season. Things that'll serve them well as they get into the tougher competition and the winner-go-home part of the tournament.
Dylan Riccio wins the face-off. The Bulldogs will run it out with Parker Gupta trotting behind. Riccio must have been at least 80 to 90% face-off win on the afternoon. Kudos to him, too. Somewhat of an unsung hero there Marvelous job by the sophomore face-off man. Brody Helton finishes with 5 and 2. 4 goals for Luke Purnell, 3 for John Purnell, scoring leaders for the Bulldogs. For the Lancers, 4 goals by Brody Campbell, 3 by Trey Campbell, 2 apiece for Heward and Walden. Final score here is 16-11 as the Mist starts again. I'm sure these two teams are looking forward to wrapping up the regular season strong and entering the playoffs with momentum. I want to say thank you to Bill Jennings for manning the camera here in the press box on this brisk evening here late in May. Andrew Fenn back in the studio running our replays. Thank you to all our viewers and listeners from BC TV. We'll see you on the next broadcast. Have a good night.